Hello, welcome to another video. And in this video, I am going to show you my Zelda collection. And this is in honor of the 35th anniversary of the Zelda franchise from, I think it was last week was their anniversary. So I just decided to pull out my Zelda games and let's just wander on through the Zelda franchise. Okay, so the first couple of games we have are from the NES, and that is The Adventure of Link. And this one I have in a case, The Legend of Zelda. And I believe this one was Zelda 2, I think. Is what it was called. It's not on the label, but I think this one was, I could be wrong. I've honestly not played too much of the NES ones, but this is the first one, and I think The Adventure of Link is the second one of Zelda 2. In any case, I have both of them for the NES, and both of these carts are the gray variants. They originally came in the gold color, and every time I found the gold ones, they always had the paint peeling off of it, so I decided to just pick up the gray ones. I really didn't care if it was gold or not, so these are the two that I have on the NES, and these are the two that I've probably played the least. I didn't get into The Legend of Zelda until my teenage years, like maybe late teens, so gosh, yeah, I mean, it's been a while since that Zelda came out, so by the time I got to it, yeah, there has been quite a lot of Zelda games out already, and I kind of just never really started at the beginning. I kind of just continued on and didn't play too much of the earlier games, but I have them anyway. My intention is to play them because I'd like to check them out and, you know, kind of see how it all got started. Next, we're going to move on to the Super Nintendo, and this will be The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And yes, it is the Super Famicom version, and I have no idea what they titled it. I know it's a different title. I don't remember what it is, but I play this on the Retron 5, and I use a translation patch so that way I can play it in English. But I picked up the Japanese version because, one, it was cheaper, and the box art looks pretty cool. So I have several Super Famicom games that I like to pick up just for the box art and stuff. But this one, A Link to the Past, I haven't played too much. I've dabbled in it a little bit. It is a really fun game. I really do like it, so I really do need to get into it a bit. Like I said, I haven't really played too many of the earlier games in the series, but I do own them, and I would like to get to them at some point. Alright, moving on to the N64, there is Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And I haven't played too much of these either. I know you're noticing a trend, but I promise I'll get to a certain point. So, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. I've played these a little bit. Again, all of these Zelda games so far that I've mentioned, I didn't have when I was a child, so I didn't play them very much. But Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, two of the most iconic Zelda games. It's always, are you Team Ocarina or Team Majora's Mask? So, I actually do love Ocarina of Time. Majora's Mask, yes, but it definitely is one of the darker ones, which is probably why I like Ocarina of Time better. But, I mean, they're both great games, so if you haven't played either one, definitely something to check out. I really have not played too much of them, but from what I've played, I've definitely enjoyed Ocarina of Time more. Let me know which camp you're in. Are you in Ocarina or Majora's Mask? Alright, on to the Nintendo GameCube. And we have The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. And this was the first Zelda game I have ever played. I had a job, I had some money, I bought myself a GameCube, and I picked up Zelda the Wind Waker. And absolutely loved it. And I know it's still some there's still some controversy with it, especially with it being cell shaded and stuff, but I loved it. I definitely enjoyed playing this game. I played it through, beat it, and I definitely have to go back to this because I do enjoy this. It's definitely one of my favorites. So this was the actual first game that I ever bought and played through. I absolutely love it, and I would definitely play through it again. I mean, it was really, really fun. I definitely had a great time playing through this. Then we have Twilight Princess. This one I haven't played too much of. And this one is the one with Wolf Link. And I really didn't play too much of this one. I definitely have to go back and give it a fair shake. I kind of went into it a little bit, but Zelda, you really need time to play, so I haven't gone back into it and play it. So I don't really have too much to say about this, other than I picked it up with the intention of playing it, so I have to go back into it. Definitely have to go back into it. All right, and then we have Four Swords Adventures. And yeah, if I remember correctly, you play with this with 4 Game Boys, which is the strangest thing. But I have honestly not tried this because, well, now I have 2 Game Boys, but at the other time I only had 1. But I think you can link them up or something. I honestly have not looked into it too much. But you have 4 links, I think, and you can control them with the Game Boys. So something else I picked up that seemed kind of, I don't know, kind of a little quirky and such, but I know it still seemed interesting and fun to play, but I have to check this one out. I haven't really had time to check it out. It's been in my collection for a long time, but at some point I'm sure I'll get to that one. Kind of not high on my priority list to play. Now we have The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Master Quest, which has never before been released. And this was the re-release of the N64 version of the game. And I can't remember if they cleaned it up a little bit. So yeah, high res. Well, high res for then, but so this was Ocarina of Time and Master Quest. And I have never played through Master Quest, so I'll definitely have to go through that one, but I think this one's getting a little up in price there, so I had that one for a while too, just never got around to the Master Quest. And the last one for the GameCube is the Collector's Edition. So this Collector's Edition on the GameCube has Zelda 1 and 2, and Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So it has the 2 NES games and the 2 N64 games, which I guess they were a little bit high res for that time, which is fine. But I have this because it has the whole compilation, and I don't know, maybe I'll play this one. I would like to play the originals too, but it has all of them on one disc, which is very convenient. So there you go. If you're looking for a collector's one, that would definitely be one to pick up. I think that one has been climbing in price, so good luck finding it. I mean, yeah, well, actually a lot of the GameCube games have been climbing in price, which is kind of why I haven't picked up too many of them lately. So yeah, I'm kind of sitting on GameCube and haven't been buying too much lately. All right, let's take a look at the Nintendo Wii. So the Wii had Twilight Princess as well, and I haven't played this one either, but I bought this one. It's way cheaper. So if you don't have Twilight Princess for the GameCube, get the Wii version because it is a ton cheaper. And the only reason why I have both of them is just because the game was mirrored. I think because Link is actually left-handed, and in the Wii, I think most people are right-handed, so because you have to use the controls and stuff for, I think most of this uses some motion controls in here too, then they switched it so when you actually swing your sword, you can kind of see it better. But yeah, so that I haven't played through this, but that's the only reason why I have it, is because it's just a mirror image of the game. And the other game on the Wii is Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. So, alright. The reason I made that sound is because of these stupid motion controls. I know that was, I want to say, gimmick of the Wii, but I was not a big fan of them at all. And I did pop this game in and I tried my best to play it, but good Lord, I had some trouble, and I felt like such a doofus swinging around my remote and trying to, you know, get my sword to work, and it was crazy. But yeah, I did not enjoy it. The game looks great, but I was not having a grand old time swinging around my remote to kill enemies. And Nintendo announced a remake of Skyward Sword for the Switch. And the only thing I know about it is that they fixed the controls, so you don't have to, thankfully, swing any of your Switch remotes around. But as far as I know, that's it. I mean, I think it's like a little bit of I think it was an HD remaster. I don't remember. But HD remaster and control scheme change doesn't really qualify as $60 price tag. So I'll probably be purchasing the Switch version because I don't want to play these motion controls. But I don't think it'll be a day one purchase because I'm not paying $60 for an HD remake and controls. You add some DLC or something to it, yeah, maybe, but just for an HD remake and controls, not for me. All right, I'm done. I'll get off my soapbox now. All right, and speaking of the Nintendo Switch, let's check out a couple of the games that I have on there. So the first one is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this one has the bonus Explorer's Guide. And I've played this a little bit. It is absolutely fantastic. Maybe only a quarter of the way through, and then I have not picked it up since. Because like I said, you need time to play it. And I haven't had too much time to play these long games. And the problem with not playing these long games for a while is you forget what you're doing. So whatever I was doing, I have no idea what I was doing. So Breath of the Wild is kind of sitting for right now, which is a shame because it is an absolute gorgeous game. And I know Breath of the Wild 2 is supposed to be coming out possibly the end of this year. So I do need to get into playing that some more. And the last game on the Switch is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. And this is the Dreamer Edition. Comes with an art book. And this actually had a $60 price tag. So I know I'm on my soapbox once more. But if I'm gonna pay $60 for a game, like, it better have some, you know, little extras and bonuses and stuff. Don't just give me that plastic cartridge in the plastic box and say, here it is, $60. But I mean, I really hope that the Legend of Zelda games, one of them, I don't know, a compilation collector's edition. A collector's edition would be nice. I'd love one of those. So I really hope some of the Zelda games get this Link's Awakening treatment, because I would love to have some like bonus art books or, you know, bonus materials and things like that. That would be neat. All right, we are almost through my collection. So I'm just gonna grab a few more games I have, and these are for the handheld systems. So the first one I'm gonna show you is on the Game Boy Advance. And this is the Minish Cap. And this is actually pretty fun. I really like this one. If you don't have it, you definitely need to pick this up. I'm pretty sure it's not as long as the other games because it's a handheld version. Well, it is the handheld game, but usually the handheld games aren't too long. And this is pretty fun because, you know, your cap kind of helps you through the game, and it makes you minish. It makes you really small so you can get through some of the tiny, tight spaces through the game. And I have not beaten this yet. I know, kind of the theme of my Zelda games. But I have not beaten this yet, but it has been really fun to play through so far. So if you don't have the Minish Cap, that is definitely one that I would recommend. And then I have a couple on the Nintendo DS. And that is Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass. And I can't remember which one. I think it was Spirit Tracks. It's actually gone up in price, but I think you can still get Phantom Hourglass for a pretty reasonable price. Honestly, I have not played these too much, and I can't remember. I think they both use the stylus, and I wasn't too, yeah, I think so. And I wasn't too big of a fan of these games using the stylus, so I haven't really put too much time into them. At some point, I like to get back into them, but the stylus kind of puts me off, and I really don't want to play them right now. So I might get to those eventually at some point, but probably not anytime soon. The next few I have are for the 3DS. So we have Ocarina of Time 3D and Majora's Mask 3D. And these are great remakes. The N64 games are actually more expensive, so if you don't have the N64 games or an N64 at all, but you have a 3DS, I would definitely recommend picking these up. I think they run anywhere between like maybe 15, 20 bucks. So if you haven't ever played them, this is a good way to grab them, pick them up, and play them. And then the final game I have on the 3DS and in my collection is A Link Between Worlds. And I've played this a bit, and it's pretty interesting because you kind of go through, it kind of changes a bit. So you're actually out in the game and you're going through your dungeons, and then you kind of hop into the wall a bit and play. It's kind of a strange concept, but it's actually pretty cool. So I haven't played too much of this, I know. That's kind of my theme, like I said. But I've played it a fair bit, and I want to say this kind of has like Link to the Past elements in it, which is why it's the Link Between Worlds, but I honestly do not remember. Oh yeah, so it has some Link to the Past, so you travel to a new world. So it kind of brings both worlds in towards each other, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I have not played through this one yet, so definitely another one I have to get through. Was the game of the year especially, so definitely another one I have to go through and such. But I might have to see how long these games take and maybe pick the shorter ones and kind of just play through them that way. All right, there you have it. So those are all of the Zelda games that I own on a whole bunch of Nintendo systems. So let me know what you think. I know I didn't have a lot to say about too many of them, and most of it's probably because I didn't get into Legend of Zelda until way later in my teenage years, and so there was a lot of games that I had missed and have to go back to it. But let me know which games are your favorite in the Zelda franchise. If you even care about the Zelda franchise, is it something do you even play? I'd probably consider myself more of a casual Zelda fan, since there are a lot of games that I have not played yet, but I'm definitely planning on jumping in and getting to them. So thanks for sticking around and watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for checking out my video. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at GenialGamerGal. Also, be sure to check out other gaming videos on my channel, including collections, pickups, unboxings, reviews, and news. I'll see you in the next one.